Recently, I graduated from basic military training, and while I was in there, I was surrounded by national and international athletes who all respected me, cheered me on when I participated in tug of war. Going from 2 years ago being addicted to video games, the experience felt so surreal when I was able to stand with such accomplished men. I was obese, mindless and naive, and to go from that to where I am now in a span of 2 years, I feel quite proud of myself. My self-respect has shot through the roof. That night when I graduated, after going out with the boys, I saw my reflection in the window and I broke down. I said to myself, "You've changed, Vernon. You've really changed." And those words just hit home for me. I think growth is one of the most fulfilling experiences anyone can come across. Growth proves that your past existed. Growth validates your experiences. And growth lets you know that all your suffering, or your negative thoughts, or your revelations were all real and all meant something. I've changed a lot physically, mentally and spiritually. I finally felt the tangible benefits of self-improvement. I finally could say it's real. All my effort, all my choosing to do things when I don't feel like it, all the times I chased discomfort and put myself out there into something that I was afraid to do but I knew I had to do it. Deliberately changing your life is 100% possible. I was a loner for a very, very long time, and I empathize with anyone who feels like they don't have enough people around them, or feels like if they died right now, nobody would care. I know that feeling much too well. Whenever there is a graduation ceremony or a closure to an organized event, I have terrible anxiety that I am rejected, that I have nobody to say goodbye to, nobody to take pictures with, because I simply didn't present myself well enough to be important to the people around me. It's raining and I'm here recording videos for you guys. You know how much dedication that takes. Too much. You know what I'm saying? I know this is kind of a weird video since I'm not at home on my desk and instead actually going out to touch grass. Yeah, I like the misty. Oh, after rain. See, it's moments like this you live for. The gratitude you feel when you see an affectionate dad bring his son for a walk. And gratitude isn't something easy to learn, but it's something that will conduct your life in so many different ways. So when I graduated from secondary school, I was 16, and on that day I ran out of school to play mobile games. While everybody else stayed behind to take photos and celebrate and eat together, I ran out of school to play mobile games. And it's just tragic to me, because I refused to confront the imagination that I didn't really make an impact in the school and the people who were there, and that I'll have nobody to take pictures with and nobody that will invite me out to eat. And from then on, every time there was a goodbye ceremony or some sort of graduation event, I'll be cripplingly terrified. And this loneliness, this low self-worth and self-esteem carried into my later years. When I entered junior college, when I was 17, I pushed everyone away. When the year started in junior college, I thought it was a fresh new start, my chance to make an impact. And I was quick to give up, because I was quick to be faced with a lot of failure, a lot of rejection, and I eventually closed in on myself and I started pushing people away again. It's tragic and absolutely pathetic, honestly. At the end of that year, November 2021, the anger and the loneliness accumulated to a point where I don't think I could have taken it anymore. I grew up idolizing superheroes and main characters from so many different stories, and I wanted to live too, but I couldn't help but drown myself in the escapism rather than actually going out to live and putting myself out there. I'm meant to be special too. I want to be great. I want to be respected and admired. I want to be important. I want to be looked up to. So around that time, I was walking out at the park and I decided to text a girl I had a crush on the start of the year and confess to her. I know it was over text, but that was the best my wimpy ass could do. So after shaking all over the place and jumping all over the place, I did it. I confessed to her, and lo and behold, got instantly rejected. Felt beautiful, but I wasn't upset at all. I was ready to change, because it made sense. If she accepted my confession at that stage, that would mean that results cannot be reasoned with, and that even as a wimp you could get what you want. And a life like that has no meaning. So I was happy. I was ready to change. I didn't know how, but I was going to change. I smiled and I continued to work out. And from then on, my life changed. During March 2022, I came across Hamza and I was introduced to the whole red pill self-improvement landscape. And it started from there. I started journaling and meditating. I have 431 memos in my journal, and each of them is a separate day. And it's only been 1.5 years. So you can only imagine the amount of dedication I put into this. I reevaluated every choice I made socially. I reevaluated my emotions, my fears, my anger, and I became better and better. I went from an absolute nobody to performing on stage, to inviting boys from other classes to spar, boxing. I changed my relationship, my family. I wrote gratitude letters to my parents. I took care of my sister, no matter what. I forgave my family for everything, forgave myself for everything. I went from morbidly obese to having a killer physique. I learned how to fight, I learned how to think, I learned how to separate my actions from my emotions. I built purpose for myself, gave myself responsibility, and I chased discomfort so that I could get better and better and better and challenge all my fears. When you build infinite resilience to your fears, when you are perfectly comfortable with being vulnerable, what in this world can destroy you? I decided from then on, I was going to do things even if it means I'll be rejected. I walked into doing things that perhaps will cause people to frown upon. I became more well-spoken. I became more grateful. And every time I participated in something I didn't have to, every time I took on an experience or responsibility that I really didn't have to, that perhaps the effort and weight it takes to take up something like that will cause me a lot of discomfort at first. But I took it anyway. I picked it up because I knew that it was what I wanted. I wanted fulfillment. I wanted to be better. I wanted to test myself. I wanted to prove to myself from the past that your suffering is worth it and I'm different now. And I'm gonna go and live. And I'm going to experience everything that you couldn't. I know you're a late bloomer. I know you took forever to finally wake up and live. But now I feel more alive than I ever have. So I'm grateful for you. Vernon from the past. Thank you for everything. I relearned how to live and I found genuine relationships. Friends that support my journey and my purpose. Wow, you can really change who you are. You can really do it. And that's absolutely beautiful to me. And that's why I have a mission to help guide young men that were lost like me. I wasn't giving myself irreparable damage or taking big risks, but I think that's just it. A man who makes no sacrifices, who has no goals, who doesn't take any risks. What kind of man would that be? Without sacrifice, there is no love. Without suffering, there is no hope. So why don't we live? Why don't we take our step today even further towards the man we want to become? Even choosing to go outside and walk in nature on a rainy day like this. This peace cannot be bought. This purpose and this need to find fulfillment. It's something that guides my life so effectively. It's something that gives me so much purpose and fulfillment. And it's raining real badly now. Gotta move. Climbing the social hierarchy seems like such an awful thing to say, but it has been scientifically proven that our social status have direct correlation with our level of happiness. And it makes sense because primitively we want to know whether we are rejected by the tribe or not. It threatens our well-being. I studied my emotions extensively and healed so much of my trauma. I relentlessly learned about myself in the hope that I can guide others how to clear their obstacles. I've truly come so far and I am so proud of myself. I've challenged so many fears. I have fought so many battles. I've taken so many steps to the person I want to be. I'm finally seeing the significant difference between who I was and who I have become. I'll keep growing, keep getting better and better. I want to buy my mom a house. I want to be great. I want to be remembered. I want everyone who knows me to feel special for knowing me. Yes, I'm an egocentric maniac. But aren't we all? I'm just willing to let it become a part of me. If you're lost, lonely and angry, you belong at the top. Start walking, start climbing. You are not destined to be weak. Wake the fuck up. Thanks for listening to my story, boys. I'll see you at the top. To better work.
ありがとう。